Hello, and welcome to the Family Scoop.
where you get the scoop in 10 minutes.
I'm Maddie.
And I'm Toria.
We're students at BYU, and I'm studying family studies.
I'm studying editing and publishing with a minor in family studies.
And we love talking about families. So, let's get the scoop.
Today, we're going to be talking about the need for sleep and what research says about the brain. Maddie, do you want to get us started?
Yeah, absolutely. Understanding the brain and the research on it is super fascinating, but sometimes it can be kind of a hard topic because there is so much research on the brain. And so sometimes it can be hard to find what you're actually looking for. But today, like you said, we do want to focus on the need for sleep and what research says about sleep on the brain. This is a super important topic because research has shown that a lack of proper sleep can lead to a bunch of health problems. It can lead to decreased cognitive functioning, mental health challenges, and your overall brain health significantly decreases. Not to mention all of the benefits that come from sleep as well.
So I can tell that getting enough sleep is important, but how much is enough? How much do we really need?
Okay, so that is a great question. But unfortunately, there is not one cut and dry answer.
Dang it.
I know. It's kind of sad. But the amount of sleep that you need depends on a lot of different factors. To name a few, you have your brain structure. So how your brain was actually developed will determine how much sleep you need.
Oh, interesting.
I know, right? Another thing is the quality of sleep that you get. So if you have if you are having enough deep sleep and you're hitting REMs, then you won't need as much sleep, quality over quantity.
Right.
Yeah, another thing is hormones. Hormones is huge. So the types of hormones going through your body will significantly determine how much sleep you need. So teenagers, especially teenagers going through puberty, need a ton more sleep because they have all these different hormones in their body.
Okay, I have heard that.
Yeah, so there's that, but there's also women will need a lot more sleep, especially during times of their menstrual cycle. They'll need more sleep. During menopause, they'll need more sleep. And especially during pregnancy, they need a ton more sleep.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so hormones will play a big role. Another, of course, is age. This is a little bit more well-known, that we have these kind of different groupings for ages. So children need 9 to 11 hours of sleep on average, while teenagers need 8 to 10 hours of sleep, and adults need anywhere from 7 to 10 hours of sleep on average.
Fascinating.
Yeah, and it's actually crazy. In most of the research that they've done on sleep, if adults are getting less than 7 hours of sleep, they're considered in the highly sleep-deprived category.
Highly?
Highly sleep-deprived category.
Wow, I know lots of people who get less than 7 hours of sleep, especially in college.
I know. I get less than 7 hours of sleep sometimes, which is not fun. But yeah, that's the category you fall into in research.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it is crazy. And then the last, I say the last. There's lots of different things that will change how much sleep you need. But the last one we'll talk about today is actually how much past trauma you have.
Past trauma? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, no, so that is something that I think is actually super fascinating. So sleep will help you process trauma. And the science behind that is when you sleep, your body goes through these rhythmic pulsings, and those rhythmic pulsings are what help transfer your memories from short-term to long-term, which is super cool. And so when you experience a traumatic event or you have some sort of trauma, why you have that trauma is because the memory is sitting in your short term because it hasn't been transferred back to long term. And when it sits in that short term, then that's what we call PTSD, when your body can't process the memory correctly and process the trauma correctly. So what happens is if you get enough sleep, then your body will have the time to process that trauma and switch those memories from short term to long term.
Wait, so you're saying that if I get enough quality sleep every night, I can process trauma that I didn't even know I had?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And that's like essential for my like health.
Yeah, that's how people get through the day. A lot of people have heard that that trauma, that sleep is like a reset, and it really is, especially in like the memories and the stresses of the day. That sleep is essential to bringing those to long term so that you can wake up fresh and renewed. So it's actually super fascinating because understanding how your brain works with sleep and what it does has helped therapists develop a therapy technique called EMDR.
Okay.
Yeah, so what you do with EMDR is those rhythmic pulsings I was telling you about that your brain automatically does through sleep. If you're not getting enough sleep for your brain to process these things, then you can actually create those rhythmic pulses like on your own. And if you are creating those rhythmic pulses as you are talking through the trauma or whatever happened, then your body feels safe enough that it can actually transfer those memories into long term without being asleep.
Oh, okay. So like therapy and EMDR can almost supplement quality sleep if you're having a ton of difficulty getting that.
Yes, absolutely.
That's amazing.
I know, right? So for people who are dealing with like high levels of PTSD and no matter how much sleep they're getting, it's just not enough to process all the trauma, then they can do things like EMDR, which will help them process trauma.
That's so cool.
I know, right?
So obviously quality sleep is really important as we have learned. But how can people make sure that they're getting that quality sleep and enough of it?
No, that is a super great question. And unfortunately, it kind of brings us back to the answer to the first question. It totally depends on the person and it's totally individual. But there are some like best practices that everybody can do that will help them no matter what stage they are in their sleep quality, that can help them improve their sleep. Um,
Good. Let's hear them.
yeah, I mean, it's really cool. So before bed, what you can do is create a routine that tells your body that you're shutting down for the day. And so the idea behind it is to do something calming and relaxing, like a breathing exercise, yoga, reading, something like that, that you do every single night before bed. And it becomes like a signal to your brain that your body needs to start shutting down. So, doing that as well as limiting screen time. So, turning off all of your electronics 30 minutes and ideally 60 minutes before bed will greatly improve your quality of sleep, as well as like avoiding heavy foods right before you go to bed.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's like right before bed, but you can also do things during sleep and during the day that help. During sleep is super simple. It's just making sure that your room stays cool, dark, and quiet so that your sleep isn't interrupted and like you're breaking out of those REM cycles. So, something simple like that. And then during the day, if you have these daily habits of like exercising regularly, getting natural light, sticking to a sleep schedule, and watching your naps, all of these different things will help you with the quality of your sleep.
Oh, that's fascinating. Okay, so now that we understand what can contribute to how much sleep we need and how to get some quality sleep, break it down to tell me why this actually matters besides the trauma thing. Like, why does sleep really matter?
Okay, that is such a great question. And there are so many benefits that we see to getting enough sleep. One study found that if you increase your sleep by just 1 hour a night, you significantly reduce your injuries. And that not only includes like normal injuries, but also cardiovascular diseases and heart attacks.
Wow,
Yeah, all of those things can be significantly reduced if you get 1 hour more of sleep a night.
that's crazy.
I know, right? Other things is that sleep also significantly improves mental health and lowers your risk of developing things like anxiety and depression, all those different mental health issues.
Wow.
Yeah. And then lastly, well, I say lastly, last thing I'll probably mention is that not getting enough sleep, even just for one night, heightens your aggressive behavior and can actually rewire your brain to run on higher levels of dopamine.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We hear about dopamine all the time now with like social media and stuff, but that's fascinating that sleep contributes to it too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's crazy because the effects are very similar to how like drugs work on your body with addictions, where with, addictions that are growing, you have to increase the dose to get the same reward. And this is the same with dopamine when you're lacking sleep. Let's say a big thing is like scrolling Instagram, like looking at reels, right? So if you get a dopamine hit from scrolling and watching 2 to 5 reels, if you're sleep deprived, it significantly increases. So now you have to watch 25 reels to get that same hit of dopamine just because you're tired.
Wow.
Yeah, so it does have a really big impact on your life. And lastly, getting enough sleep will actually grow your window of tolerance, something that we're going to be talking about next week in our episode.
Oh, a little teaser for next time.
What can I say?
Thanks for listening, guys, and make sure to join us next week on The Family Scoop, where we will be discussing how to understand your window of tolerance and why you're at your limit.
We also have an Instagram account, so check out The Family Scoop to see posted content as well as references to the studies that we mentioned in our podcast episodes.
See you next time
on The Family Scoop.